to my cluttered garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here. Welcome to live stream number 105, February 13th, 2023. And it is a special evening tonight. So I am indeed glad you're here. So many comments in the live chat already. People watching, very excited to have you here tonight. So let me first start off with a couple announcements, and then we'll bring our special guest on. We only have an hour. So if you're new to the live stream, know that we will wrap up by 8 p.m. our time. It's 7 p.m. now. It is February 13th, which means tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to you out there. Of course, we're continuing with Black History Month this entire month of February. And if you are a Chiefs fan, congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs for winning last night's Super Bowl. You can see right up there, I've got their little logo just to show my respect, even though, you know, we're in the Philly area here, and kind of was rooting for the Eagles, but at any rate, good job and good game. So and also I do want to just mention briefly that the toll of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, up to 30,000 lives lost. It's just incomprehensible, and I've been thinking to those folks all week, and I hope that you are too. Just an amazing tragedy. So with that, let's talk about tonight's show. Well, of course, tonight, as you saw in the thumbnail, we've got a special guest, and that is Garden Tractor Boy. Garden Tractor Boy YouTube channel. That is Joseph from the UK. He has a dedicated YouTube channel dedicated to garden tractors, and we're going to talk to him about his channel. We're going to talk to him about his interest in garden tractors and mechanics, and I think it's fascinating because he's a young person, and you don't see a whole lot of young people. Caden, of course, we see on here once in a while, a young person here from the U.S. But you know, in this field of interest that we're in, which is equipment and mechanics and those kind of things, you don't see a lot of young YouTube content creators out here. So I think that's fascinating. We're here to give him all the support that we can tonight and introduce him. If you're not familiar with the channel, introduce him to you as well. So otherwise, we'll be talking about, you know, as we normally talk about, tractors and gardening projects and life in the country and all that good stuff. I do also want to remind you, if it's your first time here, if you're new to the live stream, new to the channel, please say hi in the live chat. This is a great opportunity to interact with everybody. So say hi in the live chat. Let us know that you're here, and also how you found the channel. Did you find it through Joseph's channel, or did you find the channel through YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and now on TikTok? And actually live streaming to TikTok right now on a separate device right over here. But you know, you're getting the good stuff here by watching on YouTube and Facebook. So that's that. Also, especially for our YouTube friends, thumbs up if you don't mind clicking the thumbs up. I appreciate that. And then later on, we will be doing a sticker giveaway, as we do every week here. And I've got the stickers ready to go. So anybody can win anywhere in the world. You'll be able to win the stickers tonight. Of course, if you won in the past, we ask you not to enter, blah, 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 all that good stuff as well. And also exciting news, and I won't keep you much longer, believe me. Exciting news that the channel here is on its way to 25,000 subscribers. It's happening even faster than I predicted. I didn't expect this to happen until toward the end of March, mid-March maybe. So right now I'm at 24,800 subscribers, gaining at about an average of 20 a day. So mathematically speaking, in a week and a half, we should be there, which means maybe not next Monday, but the Monday after that, we'll be celebrating 25,000 subscribers. That's exciting. So thank you for that. I hear Hachi barking at the back door over there. So, Anne, if you're watching, the dog's at the back door barking to come in. But I don't think you can hear. She'll be fine. Somebody will hear her. And also, as we're chatting tonight with me, with Joseph, his dad Ian's going to join us as well. If you have questions for me, for Joseph, type it in the live chat and type it in this format, the word question followed by your question. And that helps it stand out. Not to mention, there are brilliant people in the live chat who will answer your questions. If I don't get to it, if we don't see it. So that is the case. And let's see. Pardon me 1 second whilst I text my wife. It says, dog, please. All right. So anyway, that's how the Q&A works. If your question doesn't get answered or seen, don't feel bad to cut and paste it back again, so we might see it. Because right now there are hundreds of comments in the live chat, and we're not going to be able to go. Back and see all those. So anyway, what else do we have? I don't think anything else. I think we should bring Joseph on here and introduce him to you, and then we'll say hi to folks in the live chat as well. So before distraction by the barking dog out the window, it's going to be okay. I want to show you a little bit of Joseph's channel. Got a little intro here to share with you, as I often do. And then after the intro is over, then magically Joseph will appear on the screen. So check this out. And while you're checking this out, enjoy it. You'll get to know a little bit. You'll get to see Joseph grow up right before your very eyes. So welcome, Joseph.
This here is a Wheelhorse D160. We haven't run it for about 18 months and we believe there is some electrical problems. And now we'll take it round to the workshop and we'll talk about it. What we were expecting was the cabinet in one box and the legs in another. But it, as you can see, looks like they've been doing a bit of flat packing. In today's video, we're going to be doing some maintenance on our main grass cutting tractor.
Now, in today's video, we're going to return to working on the Boland's G12. In today's video, we are going to be continuing with the Boland's Tube Frame Snowcaster 32. Thanks to you watching at home, we are able to do a 1,000 subscriber special.
So that'll be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye. Bye.
And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Welcome, Joseph and Father Iain.
Hello.
Hi.
Well, Dad Iain, you're not a priest, so it's not Father Iain, but welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for being here. What do you think about when you look at those old videos of little Joseph? How do you feel, Joseph, when you look back on yourself there?
It's strange to see how much I've changed, actually, especially with some of my awful lockdown haircuts that I had in some of those clips.
Well, for any of us who are YouTube content creators, we look back on our early videos, and sometimes they're hard to watch because we think we were. I mean, I think you're great, but it's hard to watch yourself, and we're so critical of ourselves, especially when we look back. But for you, my gosh, you're right to see such change. I mean, when you're an old man like me, 5 years doesn't make that much difference, but it's almost a lifetime for you. So So that brings me to the fact that you started this YouTube channel when you were what, 9, 10 years old?
Around there, yeah, I think it was 9. It was back in 2016 we started the channel in December.
Fantastic. And so what in your 10-year-old brain said, I want to start a YouTube channel? That was pretty forward thinking, because YouTube really only started in really 2010. So it was still pretty young at the time. What inspired you to start this channel?
Well, a lot of people around my age, we were kind of watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I looked at all these people creating these YouTube videos, and I liked the idea of creating my own ones. And at the same time, coming out to the workshop, it seemed like a good idea to combine the both of my interest in the tractors and also me wanting to start a YouTube channel. And me and Dad also posted a lot on tractor forums online. So it kind of made a lot of sense to make these YouTube videos of our projects too, and then we could post them on there as well as on YouTube.
So you were very active before going on YouTube with the internet forums and sharing information uh, at the time, and obviously you were into garden tractor repair beforehand. Like that came first, and you said, "Hey, we should put this on the internet on YouTube."
Yeah,
So
well, I started coming out to the workshop to help Dad quite early on. Around what kind of age?
Probably about 4 or 5, to be honest. I got some very embarrassing pictures, which I'm sure he wouldn't want me to share at some point. So maybe privately we could share those in the future.
yeah, or you can just hold on to those if you ever need to say, Joseph, I have some pictures that you don't want me to share. So, Iain, thank you too. Welcome to you for being here. I want to hear a little bit about your role in this too, because you are not seen in the videos from the ones I've seen. I've not seen you, but I know that there's a camera operator, because it's not just a static camera. Somebody's behind that camera following Joseph and his works, and that is you. You are the camera operator, and I understand you're also the primary editor of these videos. Is that correct?
Yes. So I mean, Joseph's schoolwork has got more intense over the years. So I've been taking over things like the video editing. We used to do it together, but I now do the video editing for him. And hopefully his schoolwork in the future will still give him the chance to get out into the workshop. It's interesting from a father-son projects are always fun. It's always a good thing to do, and it's interesting. I mean, we had a good giggle when you were showing those clips, but it did remind me of the early days in the workshop. I'd say, pass me a spanner, and he'd give me a screwdriver, and over a very short amount of time, now we want to machine something, and he will say, well, we should do it that way, not the way you're doing it. And so you see that transformation, and that's really great to see, actually.
Well, Joseph, you come across as a very gracious and kind young man, but now that you're in your mid-teens, do you ever find yourself being a little more like, do you direct Dad a little bit more, like when you're composing the shot, Dad, I want you to pan from the tractor to me, or do you kind of let him self-direct when he's recording the video and you're just the talent, so to speak?
Part and part, I would say, because a lot of it is Dad, because he's quite good at getting the shots of showing the various things that we're trying to show. But sometimes we have to work together on like where I'm going to stand, so I'm not going to block what he's trying to show on the tractor and stuff like that. But a lot of it is Dad and his very good camera skills.
So, and you work very well together.
Yeah, that's very kind of Joseph to say that. But there are times when he will be in full flow and be talking about some particular thing that we're working on, and I will, for whatever madness, think it's a good idea to pan the camera in a certain direction. And
yeah,
it doesn't work, and then we have to start from the beginning again. But that's life.
So both of you share this common interest in garden tractors. Um, Obviously, Ian, you started it because you were, the older person in the family. A 5-year-old wouldn't be getting into buying a garden tractor. But how did it grow into what you have now? From what I understand, you have 50 garden tractors? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that happened. it's, I
That's
mean,
what most collectors say. I don't know how it happened.
yeah, absolutely. I'm not. I I bought a new British garden tractor, and it really couldn't stand up to our very heavy land, and so I bought a Boland's. A Boland's H16 was our first tractor, and because it was quite old, I thought, well, I better buy a second one to act as a backup, and and I was working quite long hours at the time, so as we were getting a minor fault on a tractor, it was easy to buy another one, and that's somehow turned into 50. And so we've got some great actors, if you like, for the channel, and we're now going through and giving these tractors the love that they deserve.
You have a cast of 50, 51 with Joseph.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Joseph, what's your draw to garden tractors? I mean, are the garden tractors just kind of the thing because they're there, or do you have a general interest in machining and repairs, or is it something really specific about garden tractors that you are drawn to?
Well, I think what got me into them was probably more just because they were here, and with Dad gaining more time and starting to work on them, I took an interest in liking to take something that was broken and be able to fix it and then use it afterwards. And just seeing something that wasn't working before actually turn into this usable, helpful
Yeah.
machine.
So Dad just kept buying junk, and you and you had to keep fixing it. But you've gotten far past just garden tractor repair. I see a beautiful lathe, metal lathe behind you there. You've got there's some welding on your channel now, so you're into more than just repairing. You're into fabrication now. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we did get into quite a few machining videos, and I think using machine tools is very helpful for a lot of our tractor projects when we're having to make parts that you maybe can't find secondhand or new old stock parts for these tractors, because obviously the brands aren't around anymore to supply you with the parts. So we usually have to make a lot of different parts, like this clevis fork that we made for our Boland's HT snowplow project that we did a couple of years ago, which we used the lathe for that, and also our milling machine.
Oh, you have a mill too. You have with a lathe and a mill, you can do anything.
Yeah, we've got
There's the mill.
Cincinnati. We've got two mills actually.
Yeah, the other one's the other side of the camera.
Very nice.
I think it'd be just worth saying here. I mean, I'm not a trained garden tractor person or involved in anything mechanical, and it's not my line of work. So very much Joseph and I learned some of these things together. So when we realised we needed to make parts, we bought some machine tools, and we've been teaching ourselves to use them. So it kind of adds a sort of breadth to the hobby.
Yeah, and thank God for YouTube, right? You probably use YouTube a lot to learn about the machine tools.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is definitely very helpful because if you have any problem in the workshop, pretty much, you can just type it into YouTube and there'll be 5 different how-to videos on how to solve the problem, which I think is probably more helpful than Googling things nowadays, because you can actually physically see someone doing it, which can be very helpful when you're trying to do it at home with no experience.
Absolutely.
I think David has just asked an interesting question.
About the business or the hobby?
Yeah. Yeah, so I think just to answer that is I'm an IT person. You couldn't get any further from garden tractors or machining, I think.
So your hands were clean at work, but dirty in the shop there.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, David. David is a great supporter of my channel, your channel as well, many channels. And of course, David has a great channel over there too with his Mahindra Emax tractor, compact tractor, subcompact tractor. But yeah, great question, David. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, Ian, for pointing that out. And if you do have a question, please post it in the comments, just like David did there with the word question followed by your question. And we'll answer your question if we can. So great. So with YouTube, we were talking about now statistically, YouTube is the second most popular search engine. I don't know if you knew that. It's just behind Google, and I find myself often skipping over Google too and going right to YouTube to search for something. And you're right, it's all there. So now it doesn't replace school, obviously. So Joseph, you're still in school. And what grade level are you in right now?
I'm in year 10 in the UK, which I'm not fully sure what that converts to in the US.
Well, I mean, 10 is 10. So
Yeah.
10 years. Our time is the same as yours. It's just everything else is different. Our measurements, our spelling, all that. But no, seriously. So we start with sometimes preschool, which is really not, I don't want to say it's not school, but it's preschool, then kindergarten, and then the numbers start 1 through 12. So do your numbers start anywhere before number 1? Do you have like a preschool?
Well,
Yeah.
we have preschool, and then you move on to primary school, which is when you have what's called reception or foundation, and then you go to year 1 and upwards to year 11 in high school, and then you have the 2 years in college, which is still mandatory, and then you
Right.
can choose to go to university after year 13.
Okay. So it's maybe kind of similar here because kindergarten is basically year 1 here and then 1 through 12. So you have 13 years. But just the 4 years of high school, they don't call it college. You move on from there to have year 14 and 15 in college. Then you can go to continuing education from there. But is education important to you, Joseph? Do you plan to continue your education beyond school that you're in now? I don't know if you call it high school or not over there.
Yeah, what I'm currently in, we call high school, but I plan to go to college and then university, probably, to do engineering, I think.
That's fantastic. And I think you'll have such a sense of, you'll understand so much because you have the hands-on experience with engineering, and you have the best of both worlds because if you're interested in engineering, you must be good at math. Is that one of your strong suits?
Yeah, I currently do maths and what we call further maths, so which is kind of partly in my level curriculum and also partly stretching into A level, which we do at college.
That is fantastic. Can I share with you that between you and me, I'm more of an artistic type of person. I'm mechanically inclined. Math, there's something that happens with math that I just don't get it. I mean, basic math I can do, but I took algebra twice in high school because not algebra 1 and algebra 2, algebra twice. And it just doesn't sink in. I took some college courses with algebra. Sometimes there's just I think a mental block. So the fact that you have it and you get it is really a gift. And thank goodness for people like you who like math and are good at it because we need you in the world to solve all of our engineering and mechanical issues that we have. So I do want to remind us to look at the questions. And Margaret had a question here about what number being done. I lost it. What number being done in high school? But so 11 is the top grade in high school.
Yeah,
Correct?
we go up to 11 in high school and then 12 and 13 at college to do A levels, and then you can move on to do a degree at university if you want.
So basically, he's 18 when he gets to he's allowed to leave education if he wants to.
Right. Right. Hey, I just want to give a little shout out. Thank you to Steve's Small Engine Saloon. He was a guest on our live stream. Thank you, Steve, for that super chat. I don't know if you follow Steve's Small Engine Saloon, but he has an interesting channel and does a lot with small engines, hence the name. But great channel over there. So I hope that, again, for those of you who may not be familiar with the channel Garden Tractor Boy, Joseph's channel, please check that out when we're finished here. If you like what you see, subscribe. And likewise, Joseph, I know a lot of the folks here are channels that you subscribe to. So certainly we hope that we can do some cross-pollination, I guess, of channels here. But thank you again for that. Now, Chris here has a question. Now, he is a kindred spirit with the wheel horse. I think you know Chris, or you know of Chris and his channel, and he has a wheel horse, a restored wheel horse, and you have a couple of wheel horses, or one at least, that you work on. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, we recently did our wheel horse Raider 9 project, where we did a bit of a mechanical restoration on that, and went through it and replaced a lot of parts so that it's mechanically sound. And we've got a few other wheel horses that we haven't got to yet, but I'm sure they'll come up at some point in the future. Probably not quite yet, because we need to finish our moto standard that we've been putting off for a few months now.
Yeah, so we got 5 wheel horses in the collection.
5. Okay. 10% of your collection. See, I'm good at math. I figured that out.
It's very interesting. Over here, there's a lot of rivalry between wheel horse owners and Boland's owners.
Really?
I'm not sure if it's the same case in the US. There's a friendly rivalry, and it can be quite humorous. So we're quite unusual in that we sit across both camps.
Well, maybe it's the Kubota John Deere rivalry that we have here with compact and subcompact tractors. Now, when you're working on this equipment, how far do you go? I mean, do you do total engine rebuilds? Do you tear them down and go that far? Do you tear into transmissions? Like, when you do these repairs and restorations, how far do you go with it?
Well, in the past, what we've done is usually we've done projects where we've done the minimum to get them working pretty much, so that they're a usable state, but there may be a few things that we want to change in the future just to make it a perfect machine for using it. Whereas the Raider 9 project was more of a complete rebuild. We did almost full engine rebuild on that, where we swapped a lot of parts, did new valves. I'm not going to remember the full list now, but we did quite a lot of work on that. And also on our Moto Standard that we've been doing recently too, we stripped the gearbox down on that and put a new bush in and stuff like that.
So I think we're working our way slowly to a complete restoration, but it's some of it's learning as we go, but it's also the time constraints as well.
That's fantastic. I do want to pause for a moment and give a shout out to Sergeant Steve-O, who apparently was one of the plumbers who installed my water treatment system. Thank you, Steve-O. It's working very well. That was well over a year ago, but thank you. Very nice work, I have to say. Really good work. So what do you find, Joseph, most challenging when you're working on this equipment? Is it, I would assume, these are all older machines, so you've had to fabricate some parts, but what do you find most challenging?
I would say parts is one of the biggest challenges, because, well, we're quite lucky that we have the access to quite a few of the parts manuals and things like that, so we can roughly see what parts look like, or what the specification of them would be if we have missing parts. And then we usually go to eBay and try and find things, but the shipping costs for some of these things are through the roof if we're trying to import them from America, usually more than the actual product is, which, as you said, then we go to fabricating stuff on the machine tools, which can take quite a while to actually think of how we're going to make these new parts to fit the purpose that these original parts were.
Right. So were most of these garden tractors built in the States, in the U.S., and are garden tractors an American thing? Like, is that kind of where they originated, and or do you have ones that are native to your country there?
We've got two that are native to our country, but it's more lawn tractors are native to our country, but garden tractors were predominantly imported from America.
Right. So a lot of those tractors then have the sizes are American. You shared with me offline that sometimes you struggle with getting parts because they're in the standard size versus metric. So that I know that's a challenge for you as well.
Yeah, so we've got a part here. So what is probably a common part
there you go.
in the US?
It's a 5/16, what we would call a carriage bolt, which these are used on the Boland's snow blades on the front of them. And we struggled getting a hold of these just because they are what we would call imperial sizes, whereas the metric ones that are more available here in the UK aren't really the right size. So we have to pay quite a lot for shipping for these fittings.
So we spent a very long time talking to suppliers in this country, trying to get that one fixing, and in the end imported it from the US, and you know, the shipping was twice the cost of the part.
Well, look, I don't want to show off or anything, but look at this. And this here, that's a 5/16 bolt and nut there. And I've got a 3/8 carriage bolt here. I just walked out to my garage and just picked it. I have a bin full of these things. You wouldn't believe how many of these things. Some of them are 20, 30 years old because I just don't use them.
Yeah.
I wish I could hand them through the screen for you.
Yeah. Well, we could swap them for metric ones. We've got bins full of metric ones.
I'm sure. We finally got to a point here where we have metric on the shelf as well as standard, but for the longest time, metric was so foreign to us. I don't know why anybody would choose to use that crazy system of measurement when the imperial system is far superior.
Yep. There's a question that just popped off the top of the screen, which is quite relevant, which was from Jeff about Cub Cadets. Well, there's several questions I missed, but the Cub Cadet one is quite relevant.
And who asked that, Jeff?
Jeff.
Do you have a Cub Cadet?
Well, we've got two Cub Cadet originals, haven't we? We've got one that's in all right condition but needs some work to get working, and then we've got a second one which is
it's a complete basket case. We bought it that way, but it will live to fight another day. But Cub Cadets are imported into the UK.
Interesting. And another question here from BJ. Have you gotten into lawn tractor racing, or is that a thing over there? Now, here we have garden tractor pulls at the local fair. They have full blown tractor pulls, and then there's the small garden tractor version. Do you have such a thing over there? Have you gotten into that at all?
I think they're less common over here, but when we went to a show last year, we actually saw a tractor pull and a garden tractor pull next to it. But in terms of lawn tractor racing, I haven't really seen that much of it over here in the UK.
Again, I think it happens, but it's very small following.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen a lot of lawn tractor racing here too. I know it exists, but the tractor pull is something that I see, but that's only because we have the fairgrounds nearby, and that's where they hold those. So now I can really relate to you, Joseph, because at your age, we had a Boland's QT16 garden tractor. Before that, we had snapper lawnmowers, which were just the engine in the back, the blade in the middle. Great machines. But when I was like 13, the snappers were just not holding up to mowing 4 acres of lawn here. So I helped convince my mom to buy this used Boland's QT16, and I just loved that tractor. I mean, it was it was just. Now, no offense to you, but I was kind of a weird kid because I liked I love that garden tractor, and it was such a beautiful machine. I took do you know what whiteout is? I know you're in the computer age now, but whiteout is something we used to use. If you made a mistake when you were typing on a paper, you could
Yeah.
take some whiteout and you could actually paint the paper and then
Yeah,
write over it.
X,
I
we
took
call
I took
it.
whiteout and I filled in the letters of the Goodyear tires on the lawn tractor, so it had these raised white letter tires, and it looked really cool. But I just loved that machine, so I understand why you enjoy these machines, and they're kind of a dying breed. Garden tractors here are not, they're kind of going away. The most popular machine for mowing grass and lawns is a zero turn mower, and then beyond that, we have a lot of subcompact tractors, the Kubota BX series, the small John Deeres, and Mahindra. All the tractor companies make these small uh, subcompact tractors. So garden tractors are they seem to be on their way out here, which is not so much the case over there. Is that correct?
Yeah, you still see a lot of areas where the council cuts the grass. You see these garden tractor size, or possibly starting to go towards subcompact in some places, mowing the grass in places. We do sometimes see zero-turn mowers, but I don't think they're as common as in the US.
That's interesting because I think we're flooded with zero turn. Like that seems to be the go-to machine. Everybody says give up on the riding mower, get a zero turn. That's so I don't know why that would be, why that hasn't caught on over there, but it probably will because people love them.
Yeah, we hardly see any subcompacts whatsoever. You either have a garden tractor or you have a compact tractor. There's no middle ground at the moment.
Right. And you have this snow blower, snowcaster as the Bolin snowcaster that you're working on. So that's you see Ross and John Ritter, all these guys have snow blowers on the front of their subcompact tractors. So that's essentially similar to what you would have over there, only you would have it on your garden tractor.
Yeah, pretty much, I would say.
Yes, except nobody has them over here. So this is one of 3 that we know that exist in the UK.
Now, where you are, you're like in the northeast, right? Area is that kind of where?
East Anglia kind of area, so more of, I would say, more southeast.
Southeast. So what kind of snow do you see over there? I saw some in your opening video there, but what do you generally see for snow?
Well, it's on and off, really. Some years you'll get absolutely nothing, and then some years you'll get quite a lot of snow. Like a couple of years ago, after we made our replica snowblade, we actually got quite a few inches of snow. So that was perfect timing to test that out. And of course, a couple of years before that, we had the big snowstorm that everyone coined the Beast from the East, where that was so much snow. There was like snow drifts of 6 foot tall. I'd never seen
Wow.
anywhere near that much snow before.
Yeah, we were snowed in for a week and a half.
So you don't generally see snow blowers on machines not too common over there. Subcompact tractors not very common. Are manual snow blowers a thing where you what do you do?
The country grinds to a halt when it snows, basically.
But do you just shovel sidewalks by hand, or you just okay?
Yeah,
Wow.
it doesn't snow often, but when it does, it's pretty much it's people clear it by hand.
Wow. It's kind of like rugged country over there, I feel like.
We don't. I think I can't remember the exact measurement, but it's something like nowhere in the UK is more than 50 miles away from the coast. I can't remember what the exact number is, but the salt air has an impact on our climate, and so it doesn't often snow, but when it does, it really, really does.
Yeah.
And with the roads, with our roads, usually there's hedges either side of them, very close to the road. So when it does snow, and the snow drifts through the hedges onto the road, it all just gets stuck there. So it completely blocks everything. And as we were saying, without many people having snow blades or snow casters, it just stops everything pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. Now you said there's a friendly rivalry between Wheel Horse and Boland's over there, and you said that you're kind of in both camps because you have both machines. But I didn't ask you, do you lean one way or the other? I'm going to put you on the spot here. I don't want to offend your Wheel Horse friends or your Boland's friends, but what do you think, Joseph?
I'm not too sure. I think I'd probably prefer to work on a wheel horse because I find them a lot simpler and easier to get my head around where everything is. But I've had more experience using the Bolands, and I think they're more heavy-duty machines, and I'd prefer to use them, I think, for heavier jobs.
Did Wheel Horse ever make a hydrostatic model?
They did the D series ones, the big wheel horses, which were the competitors to the Boland's HT series.
Okay.
And they had the Kohler twins in them, and they were hydrostatic. And we've got a couple of them, haven't we? We've got a D200, which is the 20 horsepower model, and the D160, which is the 16 horsepower model.
I think you featured one in your collection at the beginning.
So yeah, our Boland's was a hydrostatic, and again, I swear it was built heavier than my compact tractor that I have now. My Kubota has the rear axle, which I didn't know until after I got it, but they're made out of aluminum now, and it's a significant tractor. But that Boland's was all solid cast iron front axle. That whole rear end was just enormous, and I guess they were probably overbuilt because it literally fell apart. It's still, the gears and everything still worked, but the machine just fell apart. The deck became as thin as paper, and there just wasn't anything you could do anymore. At least not that I could do. Now maybe you could have done something with it, probably, but it was a great machine. So I'm looking at some comments here and some questions. See if we have anything else for Joseph and or Ian. I said the zero turn word, and a lot of people chimed in with their favorite zero turn.
There appears to be a bit of a Boland's versus wheel horse debate as well. So you opened a can of worms there.
Yeah, that's right. And great question from Chris. I had the same question, forgot about it earlier. But Joseph, what's the driving age over there? And are you driving yet, or is that in your near future?
The driving age for cars is 17 over here, and a couple of years, well, a year and a bit away from that at the moment. And I think you can get a tractor license at 16, though, so I'm closer to that if we manage to road register one of our tractors.
Interesting. That's very similar to what we have here. So I think our laws are pretty similar. We have different states have different driving ages, but here where I am in New Jersey, the driving age is 17 as well. You get a learner's permit at 16. I happen to get my farmer's license at age 16 because my brother-in-law owns a farm, and I could say that I worked for him. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But anyway, I could say that I worked for him, and he could sign off in the paper. So I was able to get my farmer's license. With that, you're actually allowed to drive vehicles, trucks, tractors on the road as long as they have farm tags on them. So I was able to jump the line a little bit here and get my farmer's license. So that was fun. There's a question here from Mikey as well. Do you have any Ford garden tractors? I've seen those in the past.
We don't have any Ford garden tractors, but I know one of the Boland's people here in the UK had a Ford garden tractor at one point. You don't see too many of them, but I've seen a couple of them for sale and a couple of them at shows before.
They aren't very common, though. I don't know why.
Yeah, they were probably back in the 1960s or so here, I think, but maybe not so much anymore. And Ross was asking about your favorite tractor. Now this is interesting. Look at the way Ross spells favorite. Isn't that weird?
Ooh.
I mean, who spells it like that?
Yeah.
So we talked about wheel horse and Boland's, and you kind of lean toward wheel horse for repairing them, and the Boland's is a little, you think maybe a little better for hard work. Are those two your favorites, or do you have something totally different that's your favorite tractor, or do you have a particular one of your collection that's your favorite?
Well, before I used to really like our Boland's 1962 Boland's Ridermatic, which is the gold one that was featured in the intro video that you did at the start. And that was also our first video on our YouTube channel, because that was one of our first tractors that was reliably working. So when we used to come out in the workshop, that would probably be my favorite to drive. But I also do quite like our Raider 9 that we finished last year, because of how we did that, and I like how we've fully gone through it and how it's almost perfect, I would say, ignoring the original paintwork.
Right. Now, do you actively seek out tractors, or do they just come up randomly? And John's asking here if there's any tractors that you don't have that you'd like to have. Are you actively looking for them, or do you just come across them and buy them? Maybe that's more of a question for Iain. I'm not sure, but for Joseph, is there anything that you would like to have that you don't?
I think when it comes to our collection, there's only a very small amount of ones that we would look out for to get, since we have quite a few already. But I would say probably if we were to go for any more, it would be nice to get a Massey Ferguson, because they made garden tractors. They probably a Massey Ferguson 14 or 16, somewhere around there. And we would also like to have a look at the 1959 Boland's Ridermatics, because they were different styling and very rare here in the UK.
Interesting. And now with this collection you have, what's the future of the collection? Are you just going to keep collecting? Do you have them stored in a building or undercover? And where do you see this collection over the next several years?
Well,
they're all currently undercover, which is the good news. They're not necessarily in ideal buildings, and some of them are under temporary covers. It's kind of linked to your question beforehand. I think we're actively not looking for anything else because we've run out of undercover storage space. But I think what we're aiming to do, and we've talked about this quite a lot, what we're aiming to do is to perhaps go into more detail on our equipment and have something that is rebuilt as it came from the factory, and then start to add to more tractors in that condition, really.
So to really restore it to the next level.
Yeah. One of the things that we really struggle with is not all of the attachments for our tractors were imported. And for absolutely years we've been looking for a three-point hitch attachment for a Boland's HT, and you'd never find them in the UK. And without contacts in America, we can't find one either. And so it's things like that we struggle with.
So that's a benefit that the subcompacts have, that they have the 3-point hitch, where garden tractors historically, I guess, didn't have those. And how would that work? Would that tie into the hydraulic system of the Boland's?
Yes, it does. Yeah, the HT. Yes, it does.
Interesting. Very interesting. David White has a question about the engines. Do you have any? Now, our Boland's had an Onan engine on there. Is that familiar to you?
Not really with our ones. I think it might have been because the QT was a bit newer than our ones. Most of ours have Kohler engines in, or the older tube frames had Wisconsin engines in, and some of the newer Boland's tube frames had Tecumseh engines in, the overhead valve ones.
Right. Yeah. And Onan, I hadn't thought of that until he said that. Now, one more preference questions, then we're going to do our sticker giveaway. Do you have a preference over Briggs or Tecumseh? They seem to be the two top engines or most popular engines. Do you have a preference of one or the other?
I would say we don't have too many Briggs and Stratton engines in our garden tractors, but I would say the Tecumseh ones are quite reliable from what we've seen.
As only because we don't have the comparison. I think we've got two pieces of equipment that have got Briggs engines.
Okay. And let me just show this to you because I don't know if you've seen this before. I've shared this on some of the live streams, Joseph, but this may be of particular interest to you. This is a photograph of a very young me with my go-kart. And I'm probably a little younger than you in this picture, maybe not too much. And that was my go-kart with I believe that was a 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton. Could have been a Tecumseh, I'm not sure. But that's the go-kart that I really fell in love with and learned how to work on engines and whatnot. And you see that white line from the front tire going back to the engine. That's actually a piece of nylon string, and that was my throttle cable. Or not even a cable. It was just a string. And there were no brakes on that go-kart. But anyway, like I said, I can really relate to your passion there for sure. So listen, folks, we're going to do this sticker giveaway now. While we do this, if you have any questions for Joseph before we wrap up, any final questions, be sure to put that in the live chat or think about it when we come back from the sticker giveaway. So what we do, Joseph and Ian, is we do this sticker giveaway every week. I give away these stickers. I don't think you have any merch or for your channel. I was going to ask you.
We have a couple of stickers that we have, if people would like them too.
Well, that is very great, and I love that. So let's do this. Let's do a sticker giveaway. It'll be 2 of mine and 2 of yours, and whoever wins, I'll forward the address to you, and you can send those out. That would be great. So, which means for those of you who thought you couldn't participate, well, you can now because we'll leave this open to anybody can join. Now, what I have to do is I have to type a word in here, and I forgot to do this earlier. So bear with me, and I'm going to type in. I'm going to type in a word, and
while you're doing that, the furthest north our stickers have gone is Alaska, and I see a post.
Oh, fantastic! How do you normally distribute them, or how do you do any giveaways on your channel?
We haven't done. Normally, if anyone wants our stickers, they drop us an email, and we're happy to send them.
Okay, very nice. Well, they can win tonight, which will be great. I'm going to share this screen, and then we'll do the giveaway. Believe me, I'm always this prepared. Always. Ask anybody. So we're going to show this word. And what you do, you will enter the phrase in the live chat exactly the way that you see it. And we'll share that right now. Hashtag, now I didn't put GTB because I thought people would guess that. So hashtag GTBoy. Enter that in the live chat. Hashtag can be uppercase or lowercase, no space. And then we'll do a drawing here to see who wins in the live chat. All right. We should see those numbers coming in shortly. There we go. And again, anybody can enter to win. We'll get these to you anywhere. Meanwhile, think about any final questions for Joseph and his dad, Ian, right after the sticker giveaway. But you can see here, there's how Phil did it. Hashtag GTBoy. Ben did it in lowercase. That's fine. That works too. Doc, Nope, not Doc. Doc. I don't know how to pronounce that. Tony G. Good to see you tonight. Margaret. So type it just like that. And we'll hit the draw button here in just a moment. All right. We have about half the people watching have entered at this point. We'll see if any more enter, and then we'll hit the draw. All right. This is it. We're going to hit the draw. 37. Somebody just snuck in right there. Let's see who our winners. Here we go. Our winner tonight is 360 Alaskan Life, 180 Florida Life. Hey, congratulations, Dana, who has, I believe, won something before. So congratulations on winning tonight. So what I need for you to do is send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Even if you won before, I don't have that information, so I need your correct spelling of your name, mailing address, and I will share this with Joseph, and they will send you the winning stickers as well. Excellent. Congratulations. Remove that. There we go. Excellent. Well, that was fun. Joseph, Ian, I want to thank you for being here tonight. There was one final question I saw. Someone had a question about one of the tractors on your sticker. What Boland's is that on the far left of the sticker?
Far left on that side is our Boland's 1054, our Husky 1054, which has a hydraulic lift kit on it. And then in the middle, we've got the Boland's 900. And then on this end, we've got the 1962 Boland's Ridermatic that I was talking about earlier.
Excellent. What was the middle one again?
That's a Boland's Husky 900 on there.
Neat. That looks similar to an old Ford 8N type tractor.
Yeah, very
The
similar.
design of that.
Jake.
So great. So I want to thank you both for being here tonight. The night went quick. I hope maybe you'll come back and talk to us again. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to share with the folks here tonight?
I think we'd both like to thank you very much, Ed, for inviting us along. We're honoured to be guests on your live stream. We've been talking about it ever since you sent us the email. So thank you very much. And this is a great opportunity to see or to get closer to the followers of the channel. And I know Joseph's been pointing out the people we know. So thank you all very much. Thank you for supporting Joseph in his channel.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you, Joseph, for the content that you put out. You do such a fantastic job. You've got great skills on camera. You seem very comfortable and very enjoyable to watch. And Ian, again, the great camera work and editing that you help with, and just being such a supportive father that you're out there recording, supporting his passion, really to be commended. So I want to thank you for that, for being a great example, not only for your son, but really for anyone else out there on YouTube. It's really great to see. So we will have you back. We'll all be in touch. Again, to the folks out there watching, if you're not familiar with Garden Tractor Boy on YouTube, go check out the channel. If you like what you see, subscribe. We hope you'll support him and continue on. Joseph, we'll be in touch for sure. We'll be following along on the channel. Good luck wrapping up with school and continuing your education. And we look forward to seeing everything that you bring forth in the future. I hope that you won't leave YouTube, or if you do, change direction in some way, that we'll be able to follow along, because you have a lot of people out there rooting for you and supporting you.
Thank you very much. I don't have any plans to leave YouTube at the moment, so we'll just keep going.
Excellent. Great. All right. Thanks everybody for watching tonight. I really do appreciate it. I am truly glad that you're here, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Happy Valentine's Day.